Everybody say what's up to Rocky. We about to start the show, Rocky. You want to say something to the people? We about to talk about Fat Joe and all that shit. You want to say something? Rocky like that. Rocky like, yeah. Rocky like that. What's crazy is Rocky got called a fiend by my weed dealer. That's some crazy shit. And my weed man, the weed delivery folks came by to drop off some weed last week, and Rocky did not want to come back to me. He went to the delivery people and was like, "Nah, I smell that shit in that trunk. Get me in that trunk." I had to pull some weed out the bag and like flash it to Rocky. Then he saw me with something. He was like, "All right, I'm come on." Like, man, you little fiend. Yeah. What up, y'all? What up, y'all? So we about to talk about it. It's a lot going on. The vultures are getting exposed. This is the year. Last year was the year of exposure. This is the year. What we talk about in the cards. This is the year of people addressing long-standing beefs. Folks who traditionally been on the same side of things. This is the year of them being like, you know what? This is for you too, not just them, you too. This is the year for folks to address what they have not said to other people. Shit or get off the pot. Address your grievances or forgive them and get over it. Either way it go, you do not want to go into 2026, a 10 of hearts year, holding on to past grievances. Address the grievances, fight it out, duke it out, talk it out, whatever it is you got to do. Or say, you know what? I forgive the past. It is what it is. I can't do nothing about it. You know, let me just let it go. That's what this year is about. And that's continuing to go on right now. I was watching a video. Shouts out to Thought Crimes. I'm a subscriber on Thought Crimes, their Patreon. And I saw this story come across Thought Crimes' Patreon. One of my favorite Patreons that I subscribe to. And I said, hold on, let me see this. Because I know that for those of you who don't know, Remy from Higher Learning, what's the white boy, the crusty lip motherfucker that's always in black business. Remy from Higher Learning did a documentary on a Tribe Called Quest some years ago. And I remember even when it dropped, the guys saying that you could tell they weren't impressed, they weren't pleased, but they weren't saying a whole lot. But you knew they weren't pleased. Jerobi now came out and then just said, look, and he gave his opinion on his podcast about what went wrong with the Tribe Called Quest documentary. So he's talking about that. Then later on, we're going to talk about, I was watching clips and I saw that the Rory Mal guys, I'm not too familiar with them. I just kind of see some of their stuff come up. But I thought it was interesting the way they were talking about the movie Sinners, because in my mind, on this 1 year anniversary of Kendrick cutting Drake's head off, you know, it's interesting to see the thoughts of people. In my opinion, y'all can side however y'all want to side, but for me, it's interesting to see the thoughts of the people who, how can I say this, were on the Drake side. There's a certain there's a certain consistency you see about these people. They tend to not be too militant, too pro-black. They tend to kind of all want to go along, get along. And these tend to be the kind of people that, you know, if you say something that they don't agree with, they're going to say, you're hating. It's a certain pattern of behavior. So we're going to break down what they said, and we're going to talk about that pattern of behavior. You know, when you saw last year, the year of exposure, like I said before with the Kendrick and Drake beef, what that beef did was it heightened the contradictions. There are different styles of men. And the people, this new style of man has really gotten molded and cultivated over the last 30 years. That second and third generation of men without fathers in the home. And I'm not saying everybody that agrees that thinks that this didn't have a father in the home. I'm not saying that at all. Because I know one dude that's just a Drake major glazer had a daddy at home. So I'm not here to cast aspersions, you know what I mean, on that. But I'm just talking about the cultural thing of the matriarchy-led black household that's been a thing since the 70s. We started to see these guys started to become adults in the 90s and the 2000s. Now we're starting to see that even softer post-generation, post-millennium generation, post-2000 generation, that generation is now becoming adults. And it's just this whole weak LeBron James style, Drake fan, just kind of a weirdo dude, you know? And I mean it when I say that them niggas are weird. Versus the more traditional style, hey man, we can argue and talk shit, but at the end of the day, you know, you're not a hater because you don't agree with me. I'm not telling my truth. I'm telling my opinion. The truth is the truth. This is my opinion versus the this is my truth generation. You don't have a fucking truth, nigga. Matter of fact, you probably intentionally lying when you say this is my truth. This whole we'll agree to disagree. There's a schism between men right now and between society. The more straightforward and the more effeminized, I should say, kind of guy. Now, I ain't saying gay, because gay and effeminized men are two different things. It's dudes that are effeminized, they got 5 kids that are completely straight, but they fucking effeminized. They can't take nothing. So we're going to have a little bit of a cultural study on that. And then we're going to end it talking about Fat Joe suing his one of his people that used to be on his team for defamation because they said that he touched them little kids. And I'm not one of I saw that story when it came out. I personally didn't get too involved in it because I don't like to really, even though I don't really fuck with how Fat Joe talks about our culture, that's a very serious charge that I like to stay away from talking about unless there is like you have situations like Africa Bambaataa where it's like, goddamn, years of this shit. You know, certain people it's like, okay, yeah. But this Fat Joe, I heard the shit once and I didn't really, but people did talk on it and he's responding now for defamation. And so we're going to talk about those things. With that being said, welcome chat room. I thank y'all for joining. Landon, I appreciate the super chat. The $2, I appreciate it. And so you said Fat Joe beat up a pizza boy for being 13 seconds late? Damn, that's funny. So these are the things that we're going to talk about. This is a cultural show, you know, talking about what's going on. You know, that's what this channel likes to do a lot. We like to talk about things in black culture for those of you who are new around here. I like to talk about black culture and things that affect our culture and give a perspective just from my opinion. I'm not saying I speak for the culture because I don't. I speak for me. I have, let me turn some music on, there we go. I have my own points of views, my own opinions, okay? And I don't like to force my opinions on the others. I just print it out, put it out there. And if I say something that synthesizes with how you feel, then you take it and roll with it from your perspective. If I say something that you don't like, that's cool too, because we're never all going to agree. We're never all going to like what others say. I'm cool with that. Just if you disagree, be respectful. Don't whine like a bitch in the chat. I'll allow you to call in if it's that important to get it off your chest. But don't take, if you take over the chat, my mods are gonna clown you, okay? And if you get to the point to where you hate what I say so much, you start throwing out personal attacks and you say things personal, I will attack back. Even in the comment section after a video. I'm old school on the internet. I started a Yahoo chat when I was 15. I don't take the internet serious. So if I have a little bit of time to clap back, I will clap back and I will be very disrespectful Because in my mind, that's fun. Clapping back, talking shit, especially to a fucking idiot, somebody I deem an idiot, that's a good old pastime to me. And if I got 10 or 15 minutes between doing things to clap back at your bitch ass, I probably will. Don't take it as you being special. No. Take it as me being a petty motherfucker that likes and has fun. When I think somebody is so goddamn stupid, I enjoy whatever's gonna come out my head. I don't know what I'm gonna say in response. But when you dumb niggas say extra dumb shit, things come to my mind. And I'm just excited to see what come to my mind is you when you read it. So don't take it as me, as you, I'm not the one to respond. No, nigga, I just had time and I felt like making myself laugh. All right? So none of that whole shit. Somebody say, I'll block people. Yes, I will block people, Moon Duck Maximus. I'll block you too if I felt like it. Because I talk shit, but when I'm done talking shit, if I deem you're a bitch, I'll just block you. Because I'm not going to just give a bitch ass nigga my time like that. I'll give some free time for a little while. But if you keep being a bitch, yeah, of course I'll block you. You're not entitled to my time. You're a hoe. Since when do hoes get entitled to time? Niggas think like you're like, no, I don't block nobody. Yes, I will block you. Once I'm like, okay, this person's been going too long, because I'll stop. And then you wake up the next day, and that person going on and on and on. Then they go in somebody else's comment. Then they go in, now you just being a bitch. And I'd rather you, because I know people like you that like to keep going on and on. You do that because you have a thirsty need for attention. You need to be heard. You need to be considered. Your mama was somebody who was somewhere sucking a plumber's dick instead of feeding you titty milk. So you get these abandonment issues. So people like you, I personally know that when the attention cord is cut off, that bothers you. Once I deem I'm dealing with an attention whore, now I know the best way to hurt you, and this is for everybody else out there. If you got somebody that's attention whoring you, and they doing this, and they just want to be seen, and look at me, look at me, look at me. The most effective thing you can do is block them. I can assure you that will fuck up the rest of their day, if not the rest of their week. And every time a thought of you comes up or somebody brings you up, they're going to get hurt and angry on the inside because they cannot tether their energy to your attention. You see what I mean? So yes, somebody said that's not fair. It's not that fair that the rest of us in the world had to grow a brain and you didn't. That's not fair either. When the most of my chat and the people that's around, they read books, they socialize with others, they listen to good music, they had to learn. Even if they get to go to college, they're learned people, they're people who care about the world. And you were just born. And you consider new information hate. People like you, it's not fair that we have to be around you. It's not fair that stupid people get just as much access as people who have well thought out opinions. That's not fair. So since people that are stupid are allowed equal access to people who think and consider, then those of us who think and consider, we're going to treat you how we feel like treating you, because it's not fair that you're present with us. In school, they put you niggas in the small class. Y'all got a different bus. Y'all got to school late. Y'all went to lunch early, and you got out of school early. And you still had crayons in the 7th grade. That's how it was in school. But in this world, we got to deal with you. So it's best that we deal with people like you the way that makes us happy and makes you sad. Now, with that being said, let's get started. Culture Vulture Exposing. Again, thank you, chat room, Get your intellectual power at intellectualpower.net. This keeps my mind sharp. I can't speak for everything else and everybody else, but I can speak for me. This right here keeps my mind firing like this. Hey, 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 hey. And go to Peace Pads this coming Friday and Saturday. Riza Islam has an event in Compton. Friday at the Compton Airport, talking all those disinformation dusting doctors that they tried to silence. He got them here in Compton. So you can ask them whatever questions you got to ask them about the C-19s. You dig what I'm saying? And then Saturday, I'm going to be on stage cracking jokes in between some of the guest speakers at the event. All right? Cool. You said you just took your 3 pills? Yeah. Somebody said, nah, nigga, we chilling, enjoying watching The Village Idiot. Yeah, watching. That's why I'm glad y'all didn't mute The Village Idiot. Let The Village Idiot keep going. That's just fun. Until I get tired. Now, when I get tired of them, y'all can block them. Or when if y'all get tired of them, you can time them out. Don't block them though. Don't block them. But I'm leaving that up to the mods. If my mods get tired, then don't block him. Just give him a few seconds to rethink his strategy for attention. But let's get into it. Let's watch this video in an interview on the Rick Storm channel. I do not want to play the video itself because I'll tell you to go to this video. But what I will do is I will show you how Rick Storm looked. And he's interviewing Jerobi from Tribe Called Quest. And Jerobi tells how he feels about how that documentary went. So, without further ado, let's play this part, then I'm going to give you my reaction.
And as I'm watching this, all I'm thinking is, that's the American healthcare system in a nutshell.
Yes. Wait, right on that part, he was talking about Fife and how Fife basically in the documentary, Michael Rappaport, for the most part, made it seem as if Q-Tip and Fife were just at each other's heads. And Jerobi is basically saying, hey, things was cool, like they had a little bit of attention, but it was brotherly tension, something that you can get over. And if you saw that documentary, and I saw it because I love Tribe Called Quest, and there was a lot of emphasis played up on that, but he's talking about how Q-Tip, when Fife needed some money, set up a tour so Fife can get his bread. So they weren't fighting like that. It was just a brotherly fight that was overdone in the documentary. Now he gets into talking more about Michael Rappaport and how he felt about it. Let's listen.
The group was portrayed.
Let me go back to the beginning of that question.
On how there has been disagreements on how the group was portrayed. Q-Tip put out a message about how y'all were portrayed. When it did come out, what was the group's reaction?
We were pissed. That's why we had so much drama around the releasing of that movie and all that stuff. Because Michael Rappaport made that movie for himself. Okay? Tribe fans don't want to hear that bullshit. They want to hear how we looped up this. What record did we use for that? Like, they want to hear that. We're nerds. We want to hear more about the process. Tip only chopped up one beat in the movie.
That's right.
Like one in the movie. Tribe fans don't want that shit. They want to hear how we did this shit, the processes and stuff.
So you think
that part right there, we gonna go further into it, but right there, he said Michael Rappaport made that movie for himself. And he focused on the drama. And this is what happens. And this is a cautionary tale for all of us. This is why Black people who are aware have a healthy, how can I say this? Our antennas up when dealing with people from other cultures. Right here. Tribe Called Quest documentary with Michael Rappaport. all of the genius of Q-Tip, Ali Shaheed Muhammad. And I don't think Ali Shaheed gets enough credit because Ali Shaheed has had 3 iterations I love. I love Tribe. Tribe is an example I use all the time when I talk about how I don't give a fuck about regions. I listen to Tribe 10 times before I listen to NWA. And Ice Cube is my favorite rapper. I just like good music. But Tribe, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, Tribe, he had Lucy Pearl, and what he's been doing the last 10 years with Adrian Young out here in LA. Go look up Jazz is Dead with Adrian Young and Ali Shaheed Muhammad. They had an album with Roy Ayers. They had an album with Gene Carn. They have like a lot. They spring newer artists. They did a couple songs with Kendrick. You know, I love that motherfucker. Fife when he was alive, Jarobi. These cats are gods. Those are 4 gods that we could have really gotten some deep inner information on what made these gods the gods that they are. But this motherfucker want to focus on a fight. That's why I'm doing my own documentaries, y'all. And if you want to donate, we still putting this one together on gospel roots of pop music. But this is what we got to deal with. And so you got a man, we got these 4 gods of music. And I call them gods, you know, and if that offends you, that's your problem. But you got 4 gods of music, and you focus on a brotherly fight. Let's go back and listen to more of these. I'm gonna rewind some of it, then I'm gonna give my reaction.
For himself, okay? Tribe fans don't want to hear that bullshit. They want to hear how we looped up this. What record did we use for that? Like, they want to hear that. We're nerds. We want to hear more about the process. Tip only chopped up 1 beat in the movie.
That's right.
Like 1 in the movie.
How in the hell do you do a movie on Tribe and Q-Tip only mix up 1 beat? What in the entire fuck? Man, if I was gonna mention music of the 90s, if I could say describe the beauty of music in the 90s, Q-Tip is one of the first 3 names I'm gonna give you. Hell, even their last album was dope. That song, I'm drawing a blank to the name of the song, but I know the whole song. I'm rapping it in my mind, but I can't think of the name of the song. On their last album, probably a song. I'm when my Spotify come up, but like, this is what black folks. This is a major reason why a lot of our greatness isn't translated. Because even when we do have documentaries and talks on greatness, it's marginalized by petty human behavior that great, non-great, everybody deals with. Yeah, melatonin, this shit right here. This is my shit right here.
Population getting tired now.
I love that motherfucker.
Diane Wish. Role play, she plays the mannequin.
Shit, y'all know me. I don't even like programmed music. But this motherfucker Q-Tip he done turned that box. He's one of the few artists that can work that goddamn MPC, that can work computer music. One of the few. It ain't many that can do it. Most of you niggas that do that shit sound plastic as fuck. That's why like some of y'all, I don't be wanting to give reactions when y'all be sending me stuff. Because I don't like that kind of music. Very few people can make that shit musical. He's one of them. Most of y'all just plugging in shit that somebody in now. That's why I just rather deal with live music. But Q-Tip, one of the few. And he didn't deal with none of that. Let's keep going. And you couldn't put that in the movie?
Tribe fans don't want that shit. They want to hear how we did this shit, the processes and stuff.
So you think he is an opportunist?
He asked, do we think he's an opportunist?
I think that Michael Rappaport is a huge hip hop fan.
The question was, do you think he's an opportunist? And after a long pause, this is Jerome's response. This is the pause.
Michael Rappaport is a huge hip hop fan. He was one of the 3 or 4 white dudes that was at the parties back in the days. So that led to us using him because he was there. There are other...
Because he was there. You heard that? He said the reason why Michael Rappaport was allowed in, and I get it, it's because he was there. And we as a people, that's how we are culturally. That's where our culture gets played against us in so many ways, so many times. Because you was there, but that goes into this whole Fat Joe thing. We was there. You see how being there don't really mean shit? And I'm not saying this to go at Jerobi or them. I'm not mad at them for making the decision because especially after I hear what he's saying. These documentaries are hard to get off. You know what I mean? They're hard to place. This is some work to this. Is people, Little Brother, you see Little Brother, they put their documentary just straight up on YouTube. You didn't see Little Brother. I didn't see Little Brother's documentary anywhere other than YouTube. So you're dealing with a small hat that got access who was actually there. You would actually think that, okay, they're going to, and I'm sure when we do a documentary, like my documentary I'm doing right now is probably going to be an hour and a half, hour 45. Nigga, it's like, I got like 7 hours of footage. And some of that footage is about to go up on Patreon, okay? Some of that's about to go up on Patreon for the higher levels. I just got to get some more of it, but some of that's about to go on Patreon. But they probably said all kinds of things when they put that in the documentary, because you'll get somebody to be like, well, why didn't they just say it? They probably got 10 hours of them talking about the greatness of Tribe. There's probably 20 hours of footage on that. So he was there. Black people, this is what we get. Culture, this is what we get when we work with people who are there. And I want the people who are there who sometimes feel a certain way about us Black American delineating. I'm giving examples as to why people tend to not do right by us when they have our stories. Let me say that again. When non-Black people have our Black stories, they tend not to do right by us. The reason why Sinners was such a great movie is because the person in control of the story was one of us. We have our own culture and we know it when we see it. America's lied to a lot of y'all. They got y'all thinking we ain't got no culture. They got y'all thinking we stupid. Even if we consciously don't know it, we know it. We know when we see us. And the beauty of us does not get illustrated properly because we got people that would rather marginalize us, who are there, who are our friends, who've been around us for, in their case, probably 30 years. I'm sure they've been seeing Michael Rappaport around for 30, 40 years. So this is the quagmire that a lot of us run into when dealing with other people. And again, and the fact that we still do it shows that we don't hate nobody. But goddamn, when y'all gonna start doing right by us? That's just a serious question. These are questions I want others to ask themselves. Now, don't answer me. Ask people in your community. When are y'all gonna return the favor of humanity? That's the question we need others asking. Whether it be other people of Black ethnicities or white ethnicities or Latino or Asian. The time is over for you guys coming to us saying, well, Black people, no, go to your community and ask why would y'all do some shit like this to them?
People who wanted to direct the movie but I was like, maybe they would have been more qualified and made a better product, but they weren't there. We gave Rappaport the edge because he was there. In the middle of the making of the movie, they started having an argument and fight or whatever, and he threw whatever script the fuck he had plan he had before and focused on that, because that was the time when the tabloid TV and all that stupid shit was on TV.
So he just said that Rappaport had a script, and when Q-Tip and Phife started beefing, he basically threw the script away and focused on the beef.
The sex and drama sells. So that was he got caught up in that.
But really, it felt like it was just a disagreement between brothers. Like everybody beefs.
Dude, thank you. And that's all it was. A one time, well, we're brothers, we fight.
Totally.
But they don't last forever. He spent his whole time on a whole budget and all this shit on this movie for an argument that probably lasted a week.
Wow. He said the argument between Phife and Q-Tip lasted about a week. I want y'all to... He changed the script of the documentary to focus on a fight that lasted for a week. Michael Rappaport, you a fucking scumbag. I always thought this dude was weird anyway because he be on the little goddamn Housewives of Atlanta. Because I watch Housewives of Atlanta. That shit funny than a motherfucker. But I watch that shit with my wife and I laugh at it. This nigga will be on the reaction channels talking about Kenya Moore. Like, what the fuck is you talking about this black woman for? Nigga, mind your white business. He always in our shit. He always got some slick shit to say about black people. Remember when he was in New York saying that BS? He said a lot of stuff. Michael Rappaport is literally slowly turning, not slowly, he's turned into Remy from Higher Learning. Michael Rappaport has full turned into Remy from Higher Learning. He talks way too much about what we got going on. He's a chatty patty. And you will see stuff going on with black women. One thing I don't do, I'm going to tell you something my daddy taught me, man. And it's for you young fellas out there. Men, we don't get involved in women business. Women got a whole catty ass world that's far too complex for us men to understand. A woman will walk into a room, give a look to another woman. That should have happened right in front of our fucking face. We'll be like, hey man, she was cool. Then she was like, man, and your woman will read that woman from top to bottom just on some woman shit. That's their world. Straight men, you know what men do are straight dudes? Man, that's women shit. Nigga, let's get back to talking about, man, the Pistons should have won that game last night. That's what the fuck we do. Don't be that dude jumping in women's business. It's far too complex for us. And at the end of the day, I ain't no fucking woman. I don't want to be in they shit. Nigga, I got man business to I want to scratch my balls and talk about sports, nigga, and music and society and politics. Let the women talk about this motherfucker Michael Rappaport, whatever the fuck his name is, be up in they shit on Twitter, with crust on the side of his mouth, looking like Brian Scalabrine's granddaddy. Don't this motherfucker look like Brian Scalabrine's granddaddy? And they ain't that much far apart in age. Let me show. Man, nigga Rocky kept the damn. I'm gonna show y'all a picture. But that's Michael Rappaport. Young fellas, if you don't want to be like if you don't want to be a part of this new generation of weirdos, Don't get in women's business. Let women have their own goddamn weirdo world. That women's world is weird to me. It's like, it's that shit. Like, I don't care. Nigga, I'm a goddamn, this is Brian Scalabrine. Don't he look like, don't Michael, what's his name? Michael Rappaport look like Brian Scalabrine's granddaddy? So this is what we dealing with. Let's keep going in this interview, then we're gonna jump to the next subject. And then after that, I'll have some of you guys call in if y'all want to call in. Also, who the fuck calling me? Man, private number. Get this private, send the voicemail, nigga. Let me see. He'll leave the key. Sorry, I'm getting over here getting property management texts. Got plumbers calling. I'm trying to schedule. One of my elbow joints is out. One of my goddamn bathtubs in one of my units. I'm telling y'all too much. Anyway, let's keep going.
They made it seem like that's the nature of our relationship, and it's not. It couldn't be, because we wouldn't have been doing what we're doing if it was like that.
Totally. So this
We wouldn't have been on that tour getting Fife money, getting all of us bread. That wasn't the case.
So that's what he was saying, that like literally, so Brian Scalabrine went and made a whole documentary on a week-long beef. And I remember watching it and walking away from watching that. See, the big thing about things like documentaries and movies, the whole point, it's not whole point, it's multiple levels to the points. But one of the major points of any kind of entertainment is the feeling you give someone when they walk away. Whether it be if I'm crafting a comedy set for a night, if somebody's putting together a song or a movie, you want the people walking away leaving with a particular message. And there may be multiple lessons, but it's overall feeling. If you notice, black people, when we saw Sinners, for the most part, we left feeling upbeat, feeling great. When we saw Dead Presidents, we loved the movie, but it was like, damn, why'd they have to die? So although we loved the movie, it made a lot of us feel like, God damn. When I walked away from that Tribe documentary, I remember walking away thinking like, man, that's fucked up that Fife and the Q-Tip was at it like that. I remember walking away feeling like that. Like, damn. I didn't know until I saw this interview that it was just a week-long tiff. And a lot of people won't see this interview. This is on Rick Storm's channel, by the way, so follow Rick Storm. He's the person that's doing this. Rick Storm is the name of the channel that I played this video from. Great interview, by the way. So, this long-standing documentary is going to let us with that tone over something that short. Brian Scalabrine, Michael Rappaport, you a fucking scumbag for that. Period. You're a scumbag for that. It's not cool to be all up in our culture like that. And now they're going to the Rock and Roll, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. One of our most legendary groups. They get some work done on them. And even if there are future documentaries, people are still going to go back and watch that. And there are people who have since, major Tribe fans who have since passed away, or they're going to pass away, never hearing this side of the story, walking away with that kind of a separation feeling every time they listen to a Tribe song. they're gonna be like, damn. Because I remember when that last album dropped, I remember thinking like, damn, it's kind of fucked up. They weren't really talking like that. I remember thinking that. So that's what we're dealing with. That's why we protect our culture. No, also Patreon. Friday we're interviewing Friday we're interviewing Lord Jamar on this channel. I'm not sure if that's gonna be straight on YouTube or on Patreon with a premiere, but there is gonna be an extended extra for people on Patreon. I'm not sure how it's going to premiere yet, but we will have a few extra minutes and some behind the scenes stuff over on the Patreon side and with Lord Jamar. And then also on Sunday on Patreon. Sundays is going to be on Patreon because it's going to be very deep about music. And I'm going to edit it and put an edited version out on YouTube with Dr. Logan Westbrooks. Dr. Logan Westbrooks is the man that wrote the book. Damn it! And that you would think I would have the book in here. It's still in my other bookshelf. But the book, The Harvard Report, for those of you that's been following my Destruction of Black Music series, he's the person that wrote the book exposing the plot to destroy Black music. Dr. Logan Westbrooks. He will be with us on Patreon, and I'm going to, ask great questions. And from those questions, what I deem safe to put on YouTube, we'll put on YouTube. Okay? But this is Dr. Logan Westbrooks. He wrote these books. This is the Harvard Report. This is a bad picture. It's not coming up. But anyway, Dr. Westbrooks, he's the first Black executive hired for Columbia Records. Okay, he's the first major Black record executive at Columbia Records. I'm not Columbia, Capitol Records. Capitol Records. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic, so I'll see a C and a C and say the same goddamn thing. But he's the one that he was the first Black record executive, and he's a whistleblower. He's somebody who talked about, here we go, the Harvard Report and how basically the plot, how they took over our music, how they basically X'd out Black artists, Black record labels, Black and one-stops. He wrote the book on how that was done. So we're going to interview him on Sunday, and I will have most of it up here on YouTube, but I do know certain questions I want to ask. I'm not going to put up here. I'm not going to put on YouTube. Just not going to do it. My channel got a strike last week. I got to be on my best behavior here on YouTube because I already have a strike. All right? And I don't want another one. The link to the Patreon's all of that stuff is in the description. Patreon.com/DejuanB. All that's in the description. Patreon.com/DejuanB. All right. So go back I don't want to play the whole interview. Go back and watch that because it's a lot that said. I could be talking about this for 2 hours.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Not only is he,
because I'm not. Go ahead.
Let me see one part.
Not only is he probably a sad person, he also can't pronounce a part.
Oh, here's the part what he says about Michael. I'm gonna play the last part he says about Michael Rappaport. Then we're gonna move on.
No, I know. Just leave him alone. No, just leave him alone. I'm saying I don't like what he. I know.
Yeah.
It depends on the day. It depends on the day.
Let me go to the question.
What if he saw you in New York on the street?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't sit with him in any kind of way.
What if he saw you in New York?
So the question was, would you sue him? He said I wouldn't sue him. Now the next question is, what if you saw him in New York on the street? Now this is response. This is Jerome's response to what would you do if you see Michael Rappaport on the streets?
On the street.
Depends on the day.
It depends on the day. Damn. He said if you saw Michael Rappaport, what would he do? He said it depends on the day. God damn. Let's listen to the rest of this response.
It depends on the day. Because I've had people asking like, yo, I see this dude all the time. Like, hey, leave him alone. Mm-hmm. Leave him alone. I know, just leave him alone. No, just leave him alone. I'm saying I don't like what I know. Just leave him alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then it's a bad look for y'all.
Man, the punishment that he's gonna get from whoever his creator is and whoever the higher force or whatever he believes in is, whatever I can do can't compare to that.
So he's saying his higher forces are gonna get him. But I don't know. If you ask me, Michael Rappaport, Michael Rappaport looked like he worships Brother Noomsy from what was the Eddie Murphy movie, The Golden Child? My dear Brother Noomsy. Don't he? Let me get a picture of Brother Noomsy. My dear Brother Noomsy. Here we go. Just based on Michael Rappaport and all that crust that be between his on the side and on the crack of his lips, he like he worshiped Brother Noomsy. Y'all remember Brother Noomsy? Michael Rappaport look like he drinks some liquor and cut a chicken's head off and sacrifices a chicken at the altar of Brother Noomsy. So, you know, I'm with my brother Jerobe. I'm with Jerobe on this, but you know what kind of recompense are you gonna get from a dude that already worships Brother Noomsy? He probably got a goddamn snake lizard woman in the background. Who that bitch behind the curtain? Huh. Y'all remember that scene? Man, when I was a kid, that shit scared the fuck out of me. Man, this is some technology when I was a kid, boy. Between Brother Noomsy and her, man, this scene came, man, I was scared as hell. Man, I was scared as fuck to take a shower that night. I'm like, Mama, come in the bathroom with me. I thought it was a snake behind the shower curtain, man. It took me like 2 weeks to like get cool with opening the shower curtain in my bathroom after this scene, man. You young niggas don't know, y'all was born with CGI. This was some high technology shit in the mid 80s. And I watched everything Eddie Murphy. So, man, I was like 6 years old, like rooting for the Golden Child. When this happened, I was like, man, she about to kill Axel Foley. But this is who Michael Rappaport worship right here. Brother Noopsy. Anyway, I digress. Let's go listen more to what he said, then we're going to move on.
He's probably an unhappy and sad person.
Oh, definitely.
Well, that's good enough for me.
He said Michael Rappaport is probably unhappy and sad. I agree. Any grown-ass man that's over here jumping in Kenya Moore's business, all up in there having cat fights with women on Atlanta Housewives, when you a rich white man, you got to be a miserable motherfucker.
Not only is he...
Because I'm not. I'm going.
Right. Not only is he probably...
So, yeah, that's fucked up, all right? Now, I want to move over to... I'm going to end it with Rory Mal. Just a quick news update. Fat Joe, before I get to the last story, Fat Joe is suing his ex-hype man for claiming he like him young. Okay. See, y'all got to watch out for what y'all say, man, about claim. That's why I got to say alleged. And this is what I heard. Because there's a lot of stuff that I've heard about a lot of rappers, even rappers and actors I don't like. Because I'm here in LA and I hear everything. I ain't telling you niggas shit. This is not the channel that breaks news. Hell no. I don't want that fade from exposing somebody. Nigga, if I told a half of what I knew, my channel would be 15 times larger. But that's not who, that shit dangerous, man. And you don't know. So it says Fat Joe has filed a hefty lawsuit against his former hype man for slandering him on social media, claiming the guy and his lawyer are trying to shake him down for a payday. TMZ Hip Hop obtained court docs filed by Fat Joe on Tuesday, in which he claims his former hype man, Terrence T.A. Dixon, is trying to collect money he didn't earn and resorted to publicly calling the rapper a pedophile on social media when he did not get his way. And then salute to Raheem Shabazz. I don't know if you've ever seen his documentary series, Elementary Genocide. Big fan of his work. Raheem Shabazz, TMZ picked up his his tweet, and this kind of helped get the word out. So salute to Raheem Shabazz for helping get the word out.
And your man Joe just...
Hold up. So basically what he was using you for was to recruit the females.
Absolutely.
Instead of pushing your music.
Absolutely.
This is when the whistleblower had came out back in December.
Always. Everywhere we went.
All right, so what happened?
We standing in the lobby, Shorty got a short skirt on. Your man Joe takes his whole hand, his whole arm, and throws it up her skirt and grabs her whole jump off, bro. Like, grabbed it though, like, it aggressively though, like, boom, let me get that. And she jumped and turned around, and the nigga was just looking at her. I was in disbelief. I looked, and she was just like, I'll be back. I gotta go to the bathroom. And I just was like shaking my head. Shorty went in the bathroom. She'd been in there 20 minutes. She never came out. She never came out. Shorty been in the bathroom 20 minutes. So niggas go in the bathroom looking for her. The window was up, so I guess she went through the window, right? We go in the parking lot. We looking for her. I was just like, damn, yo. Shorty's going right to police. I already had the guts. I went to my room. Probably like 30 minutes later, they call my phone. Yo, police coming to your room. I'm like, yeah. They was like, yeah, the girl say that, niggas have sexually assaulted her. Which Joe did sexually assault Shorty, man. If it wasn't for Fat Joe, we wouldn't be in that situation. So the cops came to my room. He's like, yo, Joe sexually assaulted me. He grabbed me.
So dude went on Hassan Campbell's show and aired Joe out. So now Joe is clapping back. And if it didn't happen, as he should. Just because I don't like how Fat Joe talking about our culture, people shouldn't be lying on people. So if these things that guy alleged on Hassan Campbell's show ain't true, then Fat Joe deserves to clap back and get it. He deserves to. Shouldn't nobody, just because somebody do some hoe ass shit don't mean I want to see them in jail for something they didn't do. But if he did, then I'm sure this will come out in discovery. We will wait and see. But you see here, it's a lot when it comes to Fat Joe, it's a lot of things that going on around this dude. And I heard here for real gangster, I've heard that from people. That Fat Joe really do be around them goons. And so that's probably why a lot of people in rap hip hop are scared to talk about him. And talk about what he does. I hear he has good backing. Whatever the case, scumbags are scumbags. And you see people who do scumbag shit, like lie on people's culture. You see Crazy Legs and a lot of the news that surrounds him. You see Africa Bambaataa and the news that surround him. It's like, you done heard, I'm not even going to get into the rumors about the other guy. Now, I'm not even going to bring his name up because I don't want this, it's in the gossip channel. But anyway, you see a very close correlation between a lot of weirdo shit and these people who just flat out be lying. Man, that's why they say don't trust a liar. When people lie, it be other shit that's going on. I'm not saying nobody guilty of nothing. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's a lot of suspicions around people who are documented plagiarizing fucking liars. And these people that have this animosity, these people are the ones that represent hip hop. And you see hip hop got a bad name, but look at the people that's speaking on hip hop these days. When they did their hip hop 50 celebration, who did they hire to do the most talking about hip hop? There's some weird correlations. That's all I'm saying. You could take it how you want to take it. I'm not telling you how to take it. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm just telling you shit's weird. And speaking of weird, shout out to 5150 yesterday ended wild. I gotta go back and watch it. I remember watching it. I was kicking it with my folks last night. We was all watching 5150. And then we just saw some dude hanging over Reza and talking. We're like, what the fuck going on? And we all stopped. Nigga, that shit was funny as hell. I gotta go back and watch. Like, how did that even happen? But that's another story. I don't want to get too far into that. That's another topic. But salute to 5150. That shit was wild last night. But yeah, Rizzo was dropping heat. And so, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. This Dom Lucre dude is weird. This right here, Rory Mal, this their reaction to sinners. And you know, and look, let me start off by saying everybody is entitled to their opinion. I don't think no two people should think alike. Your opinion should be your opinion. But you know, when people talk, sometimes I'm a social commenter. You know, I like to comment on what goes on. I comment on society, and I like to study society, and I like studying groups of people and individuals. And sometimes, my personal study is what we see in entertainment, because what's in entertainment is a propagandized, enlarged versions of the direction the people out there want society to go in. And so when you're dealing with people who make mainstream TV regularly, mainstream radio, the mainstream podcasts that are backed by all of the big money, these are the people that the mainstream choose to be the social engineers. You know, the people who are backed by Spotify, and it's a range of them. They're you know, but you see now, Michelle Obama, she has her corny ass podcast. Now, you know, the only reason why she invited Marlon Wayans on because of the LGBTQ thing. If all his kids were straight, I'm sure they wouldn't have invited him on. No disrespect to Marlon Wayans, but you see the bullshit on her podcast. You see the people who are who have the mainstream stuff. The people who are pushed, the Vlads of the world, the Adam 22s, the academics, these folks, the Rory Mals, people who get the mainstream access. These are the people these are the opinions and the mindsets and the points of views that society want magnified. Okay, that's why they put the money behind these people. That's why you guys are looking, be like, damn, how they getting so much for pussy and this one didn't? You know, because all of this shit is propaganda, and on the internet, guys got part of the propaganda mill in 2016. Go back to 2016 when Gizmodo Media bought up Very Smart Brothers and all those different blog sites. You saw MSNBC buying the root of one of them, and the Griot, and 2016 is when the mainstream money got to the internet and they started deciding who wins and who loses. So you always want to look at that because most people are affected by propaganda. Going back to what I talked about before about the whole LeBron thing, his first commercial being in a church, and them telling you from his first ad on that we're going to turn people into worshipers of this guy. You know what I mean? And then to what they're doing with Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is going through a for real humiliation ritual. You know what I mean? How dare you have an arrogant dad? We never liked Deion. Ever since he caught that helicopter from the Atlanta Braves game to the Atlanta Falcons game in 1991, ever since then they didn't have it out for Deion Sanders. You know what I mean? But he was so great they couldn't outright do it. So now you see what's going on with Shedeur. That's a humiliation ritual. All this shit's propagandized. Everything we see that gets mainstream backing is propagandized. And I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm not saying it's all bad. But it does engineer society into a particular direction. And we see with this post Jay-Z who raised my generation on being a fuckboy. It's all about hoes and clothes and not about integrity, not about standing for your people like it was in 91. In 1990, the music was about standing up for yourself and your people, having integrity and watching out. Even the early so-called gangster rap NWA was clowning crackheads, clowning drug dealers, saying don't be one. But a lot of you motherfuckers heard it and because the beat was good and missed the whole fucking message. And Straight Outta Compton, that's what it once was. That's what it was in the 70s. You know, when we was putting out our own music under our own record labels and our own distribution. There was once a time that was the standard in society. Coincidentally, today's the 33-year anniversary since the LA riots. And it was Ice Cube's death certificate that told you those riots was coming. Because we had a society of black folks back then that said that, okay, at some point, we ain't taking this shit. And I was there in LA when that motherfucker burned down. And yes, it made it inconvenient, but I tell you what, I saw my city get a hell of a lot safer after them LA riots. Them white folks won't tell you that part. I saw the LAPD back off. I saw that shit. I saw we finally got a Big Five. We finally got a Target in the hood. We finally got a motherfucking... We didn't have none of that shit when I was a kid. We had to go to way to Culver City if you wanted to go to Big Five Sporting Goods and get some new cleats for my football season when I was a kid. We had to go way to goddamn West LA to go to a quality Montgomery Wards and shit. We had to go to West LA, Culver City for everything. Marina Del Rey for the movies because the Baldwin Hills Plaza got shut down. The Baldwin Hills Theater before Magic opened it up. I saw my cousin who's an eye doctor couldn't get an eyeglass shop in the city of LA. They made him open up an eye shop in fucking Pomona. I saw what they was doing in my city. Cause my mom was at Nate Holden's council meetings saying, hey, we need this. And they weren't listening to shit to the LA riots. All that shit that black people was trying to do the civil way in the 80s that they weren't listening to. All of a sudden, we burned down all them Asian stores. Yeah, it was inconvenient for a couple of years, but it brings back good nostalgic memories now. I saw my city change for the better, no matter how the fuck they try to rewrite the story. I'm from the Crenshaw district, nigga. Can't nobody tell you better than me. It was my warehouse music that got burned down the street. It was my thrifties that got burned down the street. It was my boys market that got burned down the street. All in my whole neighborhood, 7-Eleven, Sunshine Market on King Boulevard. That was my fucking immediate neighborhood. And I saw how my neighborhood got better after that. So I said that to say the music at that time was of a temperament in the society was at a time where it was, nah, we ain't taking this shit. But since the Puffy Jay-Z era, the Puffy and Jay-Z era came in saying, you know what? Man, fuck all that. Man, give me some rims, some hoes, and some clothes. And that's what manhood became about. And then you get to the Drake, LeBron generation, and basketball, it became about, ooh, don't beat your biggest rival, Dwayne Wade, be his teammate. Get that weak ass shit out of here, nigga. If you don't compete and fight for the position, nigga. No, let's get together. Oh, God. On the music end, it became, instead of, when I grew up, when we wanted to listen to some when a man wanted to listen to emotional music, nigga, we turned on, we had Tony Braxton, nigga. We had Mary J. Blige. We listened to a woman singing to us. You niggas listening to Drake. Come. Why is it that, you know, this generation, the biggest love song artist is Drake for these dudes, and there's no balance. Yeah, we listen to Luther and Marvin Gaye too, but we have balance. We can listen to women, Stephanie Mills, and all kinds of women. We got a generation of 25-year-olds that ain't got a woman that can sing some sweet nothings in their ear. Now they got some women that may auto-tune some sweet nothings, but for the most part, they love music is emotional, soft-ass Drake. So, social engineering, we see the result now. It's a whole bunch of soft-ass niggas. If you say something that they don't like, they call you a hater. This is the you're a hater generation. That's what this is. The you're a hater generation. If you don't say what I said, you're a hater. Not, okay, we have a difference of opinion. This is the, I must be heard and tell my truth. I must hear my truth. Man, fuck your truth. That's what I say. Nigga, if you don't give me your opinion, I'll listen to your opinion. Yeah. I'll listen to your point of view. But man, fuck you and your truth. That's your way of saying I'm about to lie to you, but it's true in my mind. Fuck off. I said that to say that's the Drake generation. So now that things are moving forward, we're a year past the battle, 33 years past the LA riots. How do these kind of people think about other things? And Sinners was another one of those movies that it was one of those draw a line in the sand kind of movies. And if you feel a certain way about your society, if you feel a certain way about what's going on, that movie gave a certain level of satisfaction for those of us who feel that way. But then there are people out there who truly don't give a fuck. It's not about society. And I'm not saying these two in particular are, but some of the words that they're going to say sort of illustrates the point. Like some of the things, it's going to be interesting to listen. I'm not casting any aspersions on these people. I don't watch their show. They're not I don't watch them. So I don't know much about them other than the clips I've been seeing over the last few years that they've been around. But let's listen to this, and I'm gonna give you my reaction to the OVO. This is the OVO reaction to Sinners.
Y'all gotta go see Sinners, man. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. I'm seeing a lot of reviews online. Some of y'all are gassing it though. It was a good movie.
This weekend on the timeline, I thought I missed fucking
it was
The
a
Godfather.
Good,
You missed a very good movie. You
it
did
was
miss
a good.
He said, I thought I missed The Godfather. And let me tell you something, brother. The Godfather was a flop when it came out, you dig? People didn't get up on The Godfather until way later. Godfather grew over time. But Godfather was a box office flop when it dropped, all right? Sinners wasn't.
It was a good movie.
This weekend on the timeline, I thought I missed fucking
it was
The
a
Godfather.
You
it
missed
was
a very good movie. You
it
did
was
miss
a good
very- it
movie.
is a
Don't get
very
me
good
wrong.
movie.
It's a good movie, but it's a lot of people on the timeline putting 20 on a 10, bro. Like, relax, dog. It's not the greatest movie in the last 30
No,
years.
it's
Jesus
not.
Christ.
No,
Come
it's
on,
not.
man. That's not even Ryan and Mike's best.
Y'all see how they do that? It's
Best
not
movie.
the
What's the
greatest
best
movie
movie?
in the last 30 years. What the fuck is he talking about? They'll do this. That's how they cut. That's the same way he was cutting Kendrick. Oh, it's not the best because it wasn't Billie Jean. What kind of shit is that? That like dude, the white dude, I don't know which one is which, went directly to The Godfather, the movie people in American history consider one of the greatest cinematic films of all time. That's not my opinion. That's the opinion of people, of a large majority of people who are in the film. So you go right to the infinitely most agreed upon greatest film of all time. between that and Citizen Kane, depending on the generation, might be Citizen Kane. But we all can agree that The Godfather is what the common person will, if you're ever in a film, they'll put as the standard based on cinematography, storyline, a lot of things that us regular movie watchers aren't paying attention to. So they literally down it by saying it's not Thriller. That off top make your whole argument sound stupid as fuck. And I ain't got no cash apps, motherfuckers. Where y'all at? Been talking to y'all for an hour and 15. Come on. $sign to 1B1. Hit the cash app. I appreciate it. I was playing. Man, I'll be dope. Hit the cash app. Let me know you love me. But let's listen to what the rest of they say.
That's 30 years. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. That's not even Ryan and Mike's best movie.
What's their best movie?
Panther. One of the Black Panthers.
That movie is better than Black.
So he says Black Panther's the better movie. Appreciate the cash app, the super chat, not 86. Appreciate the super chat, Aries. So but you guys see this. Panther? See now, what did the Black Panther represent? The Wakanda. See, the Wakanda was that fantasy film. And Black Panther was cool. But what did they do in Black? How did the Black Panther make you feel when you walked away? The Black Panther made me. I remember. I'll tell you how it made me feel. It made me feel like no matter what goes on, no matter how things move forward in Wakanda, we still got to share our shit with everybody else. That was the ending message with Wakanda. Share your shit with everybody else. Ending message of Sinners was, you ain't got enough money to buy me off, even on my own deathbed. Appreciate the cash app, Adrian Guillory. Appreciate the cash app, Porsche. I said Porsche. Porsche. I'm black. I should know better. But, that's so, again, I'm not judging. I'm just saying archetypes, types, what's pushed. The people who are pushed by the mainstream, they know who to push. Probably the same, listen.
Panther. To me, I didn't.
Wait, what did you just say?
I'm sorry. Oh, I just said.
You think Sinners is better than Black Panther?
Michael B. Jordan had a better performance in Sinners.
Oh, he was the lead. Both of them. He was the lead twice.
Both.
He was the lead
so
twice.
Let me rephrase that. Black Panther is, of course, it's a better movie than Sinners.
Okay, all right.
His performance is way better.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
I've criticized his performance in Black Panther before. I really did not like his part in Black Panther. It kind of fucked the movie up for me.
So she didn't like his part.
I've said that out loud, but Michael B.
So you see what they got mainstream? The one that was pushing up against the bullshit and trying to keep things in-house is the people that they're... Man, look, man. I like this kind of shit because you got to know who is who. You find out who is who in these type conversations. Now, because if it's a direct confrontation, something happens, everybody goes on alert, that's when these types, they'll be like, I'm down with the team. Yeah, brother, this is wrong, man. This ain't right. We gotta fight the power. We kind of niggas. You don't talk when it's a George Floyd situation to somebody. Everybody gonna get the message then. Outside of Jason Whitlock types. But those people who play the middle, that's their time to shine when something happens. It's when nothing is going on. And movies make you feel a certain way. Movies have meanings. But is this not in alignment with Not Like Us?
It was the extensions.
Huh?
It was the extensions.
No, it was cringy. Hey, auntie. It was cringy. I hated it so much. I hated it.
Okay.
But he did really good.
It's funny they play that banjo music.
I've seen a lot of reviews online. Some of y'all are gassing it though. It was a good movie.
This weekend
These are the
on the timeline, I thought I missed fucking.
It was
The
a good-
Godfather.
You
It
missed
was like
a very good movie. You
It
did
was
miss
a good
very- it
movie.
is a
Don't get
very
me
good
wrong.
movie.
It's a good movie, but it's a lot of people on the timeline putting 20 on a 10, bro. Like, relax.
So, again, of course you're not going to like what Kendrick's talking about in his music. Of course you're not going to be offended when Drake says you're rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. You said when you saw, appreciate the Super J said, when I saw White Savior at the end of the Panther, it bothered me. But I do know if we have to navigate through this. Yeah, they always got the white savior. Like they probably had to do that, put it in there. That's why I'm so glad Ryan Coogler had this autonomy. He didn't have a white savior. So all of us who really understand what it is, what's up, DJ Scrap Dirty? Those of us who really understand what it is, yep, Vince Young, be careful who you let in your house, right? That movie was a whole thing. Yes. Be careful. And if you haven't checked my review out of Sinners, check it out yesterday. I go in the direction nobody else goes in because you know me, I be in my own thing, in my own world. Also, I forgot to announce it earlier. For people who want a reading but cannot afford one, I now have my Cardology Life Reports. These are 45, 46 page, 47 page breakdowns of your personality. And we have reports, and I haven't put it up on my website yet, but my life reports are basically your card, and it breaks down the deep meaning of your card and the pros and the cons and how to play your cards and work your cards. We have life, we have yearly reports, we got relationship reports, and we got financial reports, where your money, like how to locate, your gifts that are probably going to pay you in the future if you cultivate them, all based on your birthday. So those life reports, email me if you're interested. And yeah, the $50 for the report and a bundle, you can get all three of them. I'm gonna say right now, for those listening, for $100. I'm gonna change that when I put the fees in there. It's gonna be different on the website. But if you're listening right now, you want to be a part of it. Before I put it up on the website, email me info@dewanb.com or info@breakthroughcards.com. Either one, email me and I can hook you up with that. All right, that's for the cards. You dig? But back to what we're talking about here. Again, that's why I like my cards so much, because at the end of the day, everybody's playing out their own cards. I'm not having this conversation to say Mal and Roy should be different. I'm not having this conversation to say everybody should think like me, everybody should be on this plane. I'm not having a conversation for none of that. I'm having this conversation because it's always good to be able to identify who is who, what is what. And when you know what's being put out there, you know what's being picked up by people who don't critically think. These mainstream type shows is meant to speak to the most base of the most basic people out there. The widest net, if you cast a wide net, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get the base. Because all of us have base primal thoughts, instincts, and urges. All of us, no matter how high-minded you think you are. That's why in the movie, going back to, and I'm sure Roy missed this, a Mal, whichever, I don't know which one that is. Chat room, which one is which? Which one is Roy? Which one is the black one Mal or the right one Mal? Which one is Mal? I don't know. But that going back to my review of Sinners, that's why you had the red hat and the blue hat. Let me see if I still got the pictures in here. Oh, I still got the pictures in here? No, that's not it. I don't think I still have the pictures in here. But that's why you have the red hat and the blue hat in centers. Because the bottom black one? Okay, thank you. But that's why you have the different hats in centers. Red, primal instincts, base urges. Blue, throat chakra, communication, higher mind, higher upset, higher consciousness. That's why Ryan Coogler had those images in the movie, the red and the blue. You can not want to believe in cardology all you want. I'm gonna tell you something right now. The cards can't find one single fuck to give if you believe in it or not. Matter of fact, it's not made for you to believe in. Cards, numerology, astrology, none of that shit's created for you to believe in. It's just the mathematics on how the universe works, whether you believe in it or not. Okay. So that's why I'm saying I'm not here to judge. Oh, here's the image right here. I found it. I found the image. That's why in centers, that's why one brother was wearing red all the time. One brother was wearing blue. The brother in red, he couldn't watch his own back. You know what I mean? He knew that something wasn't right about that woman, but he was too driven by his lower nature. And society, the way society is designed and controlled, they put entertainment out there that appeals to our lowest nature. That's what they put, music that's just going to appeal to our base. Drake appeals to your base. You know, he feels the base level desires, base level thoughts. Jay-Z too, that's where it started. Puffy, that whole era appeals to your base. And that's what the red represented. But it shows you, if you continue to get run by your base, by your root, without combining it, you know, you're going to put yourself in a situation that you could have gotten out of had you used your mind more. But it also shows you the businessman, the mind, the throat chakra, the blue, communication. Blue represents communication. It also represents protection. It also represents protection. And it represents, you could almost sum up the Drake-Kendrick battle between these two. You can actually. But it also shows at the end of the movie, even when you use your mind the right way, sometimes you can get caught up in some shit and go too. So it's not to say one side is perfect and one side is not. It's really to illustrate the grandness of each side, the hustle of the red, the charisma of the red, you know, to get you to a certain level, and the focus of the blue, the thinking of the blue. These are all different approaches, and as humans, the reason why Ryan Coogler had them as twins, because that represents duality. We all have dual nature, not just us Geminis. Everybody has a duality in their nature. And the dominant society, when it comes to stuff that's put out there for the masses, when it's time for stuff that's put out there for the masses, the mainstreamers are going to push the people that push the base. Don't think, don't use your mind. If somebody don't like what you like, they hating. It ain't that good. Oh, just because it made you think, oh, Kendrick, I ain't trying to think like that. He make music that's too, yeah, man, what did he ain't got no club bangers. Ain't that what the people were saying last year, right before Not Like Us came out? But Kendrick ain't got a club banger though. Nigga, music is deeper than a club banger, nigga. But these are the people that the mainstream got talking about music. And we wonder why our music is so dumb. Kendrick was not lying when he said they are not like us. These people are the they. They are the they. When he says they not like us, these cats are they. They is the people that buy into the mainstream. Just because I didn't like it, I'm going to say it's not the fucking greatest movie of all time. Let me rephrase that. The consensus greatest movie of all time. You go right to comparing it to that? That must mean you feel there's a certain level of greatness to it. And again, I'm not saying everybody's supposed to agree. You can dislike stuff. We all don't have to agree on things. But I just like to use the mainstream people as examples as to the different aspects of society. And it's not to say it's always going to be this way. At some point, the mainstream is going to have to adopt something that's real. Nature requires it. At some point, it's going to have to come back. But right now, we're at a time to where they're spending countless money hand over fist at propagandizing us into this very low, very base, and then something that comes out that's not base. We have the cultural critics out there. When you finally get something that's not base, they want to cut it down to the base. Pay attention, people. But I will be doing another review on Sinners that's going to be completely exclusively on Patreon next week. I'm going back to watch it 2 more times. And after my second time watching it, we're going to have a much, much, much deeper review of Sinners that's going to be on Patreon, because I want to say things again that I don't want my channel getting struck over. Got Lord Jamar coming Friday. Dr. Logan Westbrook's coming Sunday. And we're going to have Dr. Randy Short sometime in the next week also, exclusively on Patreon for Dr. Short. But I want to know what y'all think. I'm going to take a few calls. I'm not going to be here forever, so keep your calls short. I'm not going to talk on the phone as long as I usually do to people, because I want to get as many calls if y'all want to call in. But if y'all don't call in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to hang this motherfucker up and call this shit a day. Call in. 323-744-7425. Do not wait. Trying to be the second person, be the first. I'll be waiting, then somebody be calling in. As soon as that one call in, then everybody else. And also, if you disagree, I want you to call in. I'm not going to criticize you. Everybody ain't got to agree with me. You dig what I'm saying like that? Yeah, Patreon gang. We got some shit going on. And we got Lord Jamar on the channel coming up on Friday. We're going to talk some music. We're going to talk some music. We're going to talk a lot of that good shit. What's going on. And this is going to be a no weirdos allowed conversation. People act weird in the chat. No, I'm not going to talk about certain things, because I'm going to talk about the music. When I got somebody as legendary as Lord Jamar, and you talk about that real shit, not that bullshit a lot of you niggas is conditioned to hearing. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from? You there? Oh, my bad. The thing said it couldn't connect you. I don't know what the hell going on. I got this new Microsoft Teams. It's not Skype anymore. The shit quit on me. I don't know what the fuck happened. Call back. There we go. Let's see if it worked this time. What's up, Carl? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Nisi. I just want to comment on the movie. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, I've seen it 3 times already myself. It was phenomenal. I love what he had done. Just as you stated previous, how Kendrick is, of course, motivating in a way, and this movie is also continuing that same thing. It's along that same line, and I appreciate it. Love it.
Yes, it is. I appreciate it. Thanks for giving us a call.
Have a blessed one.
Yeah, she's right. I love it. It's like, and it's another thing. These are kind of, like, that dude is the same kind of person that'd be like, black folks don't sit together. Black people, I want y'all to pay attention to something. I'm going to get right to you, caller. I want y'all to pay attention to something, black people. We finally get something that's of substance that ends showing us winning and has a happy ending. And look at how we're responding to it. Pay attention to how much love we're giving it, how much positive energy, how much encouragement. People are loving Michael B. Jordan right now. Black women done forgot that he liked dating white women. Ryan Coogler is the man. Pay attention to these things when we're not being reported on. Just pay attention to our society when it's not being reported on, when we're just being. In our being, we are pushing something that's great. We are encouraging great. Our culture is showing this is what we want. But you got the social engineers saying, oh man, calm down. But if we was complaining, that would be the same person that would be like, black people are always complaining. God damn, we can't win for losing. What's up, caller? Which name we calling from?
Hey, what to do, man? This is Rogue, out of North Dallas. Hey, bro, we can't win, you can't break even, can't get out the game. So you might as well try to give the game some indigestion, you feel me?
Yeah, man, he's some indigestion.
That's how Patrice O'Neal would play it. That's exactly how he would play it. He said, "Give the game some indigestion." I don't think that he would be a tether if he was still here.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like to think that he wouldn't. But it's very interesting to see the swift backlash. Like, have you seen the backlash that Ryan is getting based off of the deal that he created for himself?
They're all up in his contract. Like in Hollywood, usually contracts aren't spoken on.
Yeah, and this was revolutionary, but it's like, okay, well, things that are fresh are actually spoken on, though. And this is, I guess, so fresh to a black person, a black director and writer, and it's like, okay, well, you know, you're not supposed to own any of your work. That's what this is telling me. Mm-hmm. This is telling me, look, you're not supposed to be taking moves to direct, guide, possess, own, recreate, or cultivate any of your own productions. All of this is on. As far as I'm concerned, they're trying to say that we're owned.
Man,
that's why these foreigners keep it the way that they do, out of pocket. And I say it all the time. They treat us as if we are people who have long past died, and our culture is so rich and it's still here, and they can be able to pull from it. You would think we'd be a dead and gone people the way that everybody else in America who non-black like to interact with our culture.
Yeah, right. And you're right about that. And then you see how much they want to interact with us. It's like now everybody jumping up on this shit. But it started when we was like, nah. It started with us being like, yo, word of mouth spread this shit fast. That Friday it dropped. People was like, hey, DeJuan, you gonna come see it? I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know it was coming out because I don't pay attention to these goddamn TV commercials. You know? Mm-hmm. But man, thanks for giving us a call.
Be well, bro.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I didn't even know the movie was coming out. I didn't know Michael B. Jordan or Ryan Coogler had anything coming out. I don't pay. When I watch basketball, the only time I really watch TV is to watch basketball. And while I'm watching basketball, I got music playing or a podcast. I don't want to listen to no Mike Breen lie to me all goddamn day. I know basketball more than all the fucking announcers. I be listening to goddamn YouTube shows while I'm watching basketball or music. So I know the shit was coming out. It was word of mouth. It was people that was like, yo. So, but you see what happens when we do it. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, what's up, DB? This is Smalls from the town, KCMO.
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
Man, I just wanted to give my props to the film and all the history you can put down. Especially being from Kansas City, man, how you done laid out the, kind of spoke on the history of the bebop and all that good stuff.
It's funny, I was talking about Kansas City last night with some friends. We talking about black, and they from New York. And I was just talking about how, like, you know, Kansas City, from Kansas City to St. Louis, that Missouri, that whole area during the Missouri Compromise, so much black culture comes out of when black people not only amalgamated with other black people, but we amalgamated with black Indians. A lot of our amalgamations with black Indians came because in those black towns, the dark Indians were forced and segregated to live near the black people, not everybody else. People don't know that history. And that's where a lot of our culture was cultivated in Kansas City and in St. Louis. And it don't get the credit because, you know, I don't know why.
I'm from here, bro, and I didn't know.
Yeah. Even the
we got the
Cahokia
jazz
mounds,
museum
those
and things
mounds
like
that you
that,
have.
but
you know, those Cahokia mounds, y'all history goes back long before America. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We got all the Kansas and, you know, which I'm just finding out, that rich Indian heritage, you know, with all these names and Winnetonka and, you know, we
y'all
got all black towns.
Do you know Wakanda is in Kansas? You know that?
And I'm learning, man.
There ain't no Wakanda in Africa. Wakanda, y'all go look it up. Wakanda, Kansas. Go look it up. But go ahead, man.
Nicodemus, Kansas. No, yeah, man.
I say that Nicodemus. Yeah. I ain't going there.
Hey, my
Nicodemus.
You got to take Carlo. You might have to leave before the sun go down, but that is still a black town.
Okay. Yeah. What's on your mind, brother?
That's it, bro.
Oh, that was it, yeah, man. Thanks for giving us a call.
No doubt.
Salute to Kansas, man. Shit. I'm not only like, do I think LA is the dopest city ever? Hell fucking yeah, nigga. I'm in shorts. It's 72 degrees outside. I got my dog. I got a sun. Well, my car in the shop still, but I got a one car with a sunroof, another car that's a convertible, nigga. I love my shit. But I love us more as a collective. And every region of this country got a dope, unique dynamic. And some dynamics I really like, some I don't like. Like, I'll never wear hoop earrings like you niggas in Seattle. It's like, for some reason, go to Seattle. Like, niggas in Seattle love dangling earrings, and they ain't gay. But them niggas wear dangling earrings, and they be looking like Bebop and Rocksteady with them spiked armbands and shit. No reason Rock didn't. You get why it came from there. You know, Go-Go, I can't stand Go-Go. I hate Zydeco. But I appreciate it because it's ours. And that's how we got to be as a people. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, hey, what's up, Dewan? Amara, man. How you been?
What's up, Amara?
What's up? Just surviving, Dewan. How you been?
Oh, man, chilling. Just on, I've been on here, so. But what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, about this Sinners movie. I haven't watched it yet. I am going to check it out next week. But all the complaints I've been hearing is that people. I mean, let me ask you this: why are people saying it's woke? Why they complain about what? Let me ask you this: why are people saying that when black folks actually do for themselves? This is a black director, but mostly black actors that do it for themselves. Then what we do for themselves, why is it racist? Answer that to me.
Because they don't like themselves. That's why. White identity.
It's like
you got this. You got to hit the base of that, Amara. White identity is built on not being black. White identity is built on having more than black and being in a better position. Because the real white folks, the ones who really run this shit, we don't know their names and how they look, they're the real white. They allow these pawn whites to feel, they just guarantee the pawn whites that they'll have more than black people. These are people who come from resource-deprived Europe, that they're the ones who Europe used to have grand forests, lots of livestock. These are the people that killed the livestock in Europe when the Moors were running things, when black folks were running things in Europe was civil, and they civilized Europe. These are the roaming tribes of Europe who had nothing. They used to just, the Vandals, the Visigoths, the Franks, the Vikings, all they did for thousands of years was roam freely, tearing shit up. That's why you get the word vandalism from the tribe called the Vandals that sacked the Roman Empire, and groups like the Visigoths who would later play in sacking the Moors and kicking the Moors out of Spain, France, England, and all of Germany and them places. So you got these people who are roaming tribes, and again, not to say all of them, we're just talking about a greater society, who now, when they got to America, they got free land in the Homestead Act. They got laws that put them ahead, and they and based on our labor, this country got enough wealth for everybody to be rich. But the reason why we're not all rich, white and black, is because the people who classified themselves as white decided they listened to the propaganda from the people who are really white. I'm gonna give you more than you ever had in Europe. It ain't gonna still be 1/10 of what you probably worked to earn, but it's gonna be more than you had in Europe, and it's gonna be 10 times more than what them niggas got. And they said yes to the devil's bargain. So since they chose to say yes to the devil's bargain of not getting much, just getting more than us, when one of us gets something, because we're dealing with very jealous people. You got to realize in Europe, in the ice, they were always looking at somebody else, because if your crops don't grow in these 2 months, you're not going to have nothing. So you got to scheme your way out of somebody else's crops and all kind of shit. So you're dealing with the people who in Europe, before they ever got in contact with us, they've been scheming, plotting, taking, robbing, killing, murdering within their tribes. So they get to America where they get this guarantee that they're going to have more than us. And that's enough for them to accept still getting fucked over by the government. So when Ryan Coogler break through, when Muhammad Ali break through, when MC Hammer break through, when Michael Jackson break through, when these niggas break through, even Shannon Sharp gay ass, no disrespect to gay people, but hey, even when he break through, we gonna have to break these niggas so these white folks feel good about themselves.
Oh, I didn't know Shannon Sharp was gay, but okay.
I don't know if he is not. Yeah. The way he dressed, we all got questions. But
I hear you. All right, one more statement down my land, man. But yeah, my thing is, it seems like anytime black folks do, because you're living proof, you do for yourself, the one. You're a black man that does for himself, and help the community. Because as far as I say, you said you employ black people too, right?
What you say?
You say you employ black folks.
Hell yeah, I employ a lot of these niggas. Like, look, my way the one way I maintain my love and appreciation for black people, because I know we poison, is to not be around a lot of these niggas. It's a lot of poison. It's not like these coons are lying. It's not like Jason Whitlock and Dom Lucre and these coon ass niggas. They're not lying. It's just that they overrepresent. Those degenerates aren't the majority of our society. They're a subsection, but it's still true. They still do exist.
And every community has degenerates.
Yeah, we do got degenerates, and then sometimes we got people who are not degenerates. I just don't like them. Like some people, look, at the end of the day, we ain't gonna like everybody. Some people walk through like that nigga weird. You know what I mean? And I don't like people who, if listen, I can never kick it long term. Like one of my boys, people I hang around my circle, I can never have anybody in my circle that if we have a disagreement, they say, "Why you hating?" People in my circle, like if me and Larry disagree all the time, but Larry, like either we gonna talk it out or be like, "Oh, this is how that nigga think." Then we go on to the next subject. But if it gets into something emotional, so yeah, I do avoid, and that's how I maintain my love for my people, to staying away from the niggas I don't fuck with.
Yeah, I mean the bad seeds, and like you said, the ones that like to talk down to us. Yeah, I agree. Those type of people I just avoid. But all right, man, that's all. Thanks for the history lesson, and what up to Rocky?
All right, for sure, man. All right, have a good one.
All right, man.
Hell yeah, I avoid. Man, if you is an active gangbanger, I don't want to be around you. I know some niggas that used to bang, and back when they banged, I wasn't around them. fuck I'm gonna derail you for? What we got to talk about? Even when I felt like this when I was 16. And your friends, Antoine, when we was 8, we was cool. Marcel, Mike, whatever the fuck their name was at the time, 9. But when them niggas start banging at 13, 12, 14, I got some new friends. I don't hang around John no more. I hang around. Yeah. If I see a ratchet chick smacking her lips and wearing a bonnet, man, I ain't about to be around her. The fuck I look like being around a ratchet foe? And I got a ratchet family. I love them from a distance. Got gangster family. Love, hey, call me. Hey. I believe in that, man. Look. You know, but you got to know who you are. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. But I will be doing, again, where did it go? Where did it go, George? Where did it go? I do have comprehensive 47-page life reports, business, financial reports. Where is it? I closed the box. Damn it. I was going to show y'all how one of them looked. But I closed it. But yeah, y'all email me info@dewanb.com. Info@dewanb.com. And I see I got a few emails already. Let me know. And then I'll also be doing packages. Once you get your report, if you want to come back and do a reading, I'll give you people who buy a live report, you'll get a discount on a reading if you want to follow up. All right. But what's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, though, Dewan B, man? It's D from the land.
D from the land.
Man, hey, Dewan B, I know that Michael Rappaport whole ass ain't saying nothing, bro, with his anti-black ass, bro.
Right.
Hey, I know the dude that was on the rooftop that took out Tyra Banks in higher Atlanta. I know he ain't running his mouth, bro. He didn't have to work too hard. That role for him in higher Atlanta was real easy, because that's how he's a part of the dominant society, bro. And then want to throw out, oh man, I'm not from that lineage. No, you are a part of that lineage. All y'all lumped in the same, bro. This is like the 3rd or 4th video I've seen him say something slick about, the FBA community, bro.
Yeah.
He said something. He was in New York, walking in the rain with an umbrella, talking about, all these people that we gave chances to, we looked out for.
I was looking for that video, but I could not find it. I could not find that. I know I remember him holding a picture, a camera, walking through New York, and he was saying some bullshit. But it was so long ago.
We're going to remember that. We're going to remember that. Yeah. We know you anti-black on the low, man. You're a part of the dominant society, bro. But then you try to tether on and get involved, with these black celebrities and these black actors and athletes and stuff like that. Like you, you cool with us. You ain't cool with us like that, bro. We know the real about you, bro.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But that's all I had to say. Be one, though, Dewan B.
Yes, sir, man. You have a good one. Yeah, Michael Rappaport got put on by Ice Cube. See, another one we put on. Because we have a certain level of humanity about us. And then we see how you flip. Bill Maher, another one. A lot of them, too many of them, at some point they turn white. They turn white on you. And that's a goddamn shame that documentary got ended in that tone, talking about a week-long fight between Fife and Q-Tip, instead of their 40 years at the time that was released, 30 years, 20 years at the time it was released of great music. It's a damn shame. But join the Patreon, interview with Lord Jamar, interview with Dr. Logan Westbrooks. We got another Dr. Short interview coming up. We have some of the that I'll give snippets. I'll give an edited version of the Dr. Logan Westbrook interview here on YouTube. And yeah, so with that being said, go ahead. See me Saturday with Reza down there in the Compton. Free event. Links to all those events are in the description. Links to my Patreon's in the description. All that stuff is in the description, all right? Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Leave a comment after the video's over, please, on YouTube. I'm about to end it right now. Please leave a comment after the video ends. Thank you.